Okay, let's get back to the topic. I'm sorry. I'm wondering, am I talking too fast or not clear enough, so that you guys maybe feel like sleepy? Let me know. You can go just wash your face, or I can slow down a bit. Oh, what's happening? Oh, globalization. Okay, everybody talking about globalization. Okay, anybody in here knows the GATT? Anybody? Oh, enough to know GATT, because these terms no longer exist since 1994. You know that? I think most of Europeans should know that, because they start from Geneva, right? GATT is a general agreement of the tariff and trading. Okay? And then from 1994, it turned to WTO, the World Trade Organization. The major purpose is to make the trading fairly, equally. So, okay, the big countries should take care, like the Europe, like America, should respect and take care those smaller, undeveloped or underdeveloped countries. Are they doing that? No, come on. They just want to make cheap and cheaper. The fair, just from their perspective. So they want cheap and cheaper. So what we are doing the international trading for? We want cheaper products, right? Today, if we can buy this from the United States, maybe the cost, maybe the price we got can be cheaper than the cost we make in here, and then we import it. So we are not loyal to anything. Well, I mean the merchant, not me. Okay. Okay. If we can hire someone to do something for us in India, and then we don't do here, right? So we do outsourcing. So for the cheaper services. And then for the just dispatching, okay, if we can hire a housemaid or nanny, if we can hire from Philippines, then I don't hire in Beijing. So right now, they just find cheap and cheaper and make it legal and break all those boundaries. So they just want to take advantage for their capital. So how to cross the borders? So we have a very convenient transportation way to bring people and merchandise from overseas. And the communication is so convenient right now. So right now, I probably can call cheaper from here to the States than calling to Hebei. Because to Hebei, that's a long distance call. But I call the States, I can use an internet call. So communication to bring in the information on time, real time, no any latency. Financial instruments, all different financial instruments. Okay, today I learned the Huoqiu. Okay, I'll try check it out, the website. For all those different, new, innovative financial instruments, just bring the money to come in. Actually, gentlemen, ladies, so just avoid the tax. What we are doing is trying not to pay tax. We don't want to pay tax, and we don't want to be governed by any of the government. So that's the realistics. So are they cooperation or collusion? So APEC in here. I was not here. Okay, APEC was just finished just 2 weeks ago. Oh, they say, okay, we're going to do to make the trade and investment liberalization. Actually, they want to create the free trade area for the whole Asia Pacific. And actually, Southern Korea just signed the FTA, the free trade agreement with China, and Australia just signed last week with China. So that, okay, the two countries, they can have more business to do. The trading can be easier without expensive those tariff or any of those limitation things. And also they want to have the more economic and technical cooperation for those. And also the G20, you see all those countries' leaders just holding the koala to take pictures. Do you think that they are really helping the country? the word, to make the word better, fairly? No, I don't think so. Oh, quantitative easing. Okay, is it finished? Yes, as we know. My country just finished that because we already printed 4 trillion US dollars. Wow, I have no idea how big the money is, but actually everybody buy it. Everybody in here buy it, and you take the US dollar and bring the money to the bring the merchant to the state, merchandise to the states. So right now, people was asking me earlier about okay, right now the Dow Jones is going up, SP 500 is up. So why? Yes, in the state side, we have all cheap resources coming to the states. We are so happy, and then right now we are full of the powers. Japan cannot wait for any longer, so they just kick off the 1 trillion US dollar. I would say the first trillion US dollar. I believe they will print more money, and Euro will start at 1 trillion US dollar soon. Okay, here's we say the trade secret. That's really the secret from trading. Okay, in China we use a cheap labor, cheap resources, material, make very cheap toys, sell to the state side, and the people in the state pay US dollar money to the owner, to the business owner. No, I'm sorry. All those foreign currency have to be held by the People's Bank. So People's Bank got to take care of that, and then People's Bank will print enough of the renminbi to pay them. And then those US dollar will belong to here, the Fed, the Freddie Mac or Freddie Mae, okay, to loan to the state, and so that the state have a lot of money, easy money, and to loan to the consumers to buy. So that's a cycle. That's a cycle to keep everything alive, keep the workers in China have work to do, have money to receive the money, the renminbi. So who is printing the money? I'm not saying that. Don't force me to say that. Who is printing the money? So that's how the work is doing right now. Okay. By the way, meanwhile, I'm not against about any brand of the cell phone. Just well, that's a coincidence. I put this cell phone. I don't know what the brand is. Okay, just think about that. It's the cost to make it is like 200 something, less than 200 something in China. But Foxconn or the other OEM company sell that. Maybe just add on like 10% of the margin or less than that, and sell to a small island. What's that? Oh, we call it BVI, British Virgin Island. That's a tax-free zone. Oh, I'm sorry. Okay, and the BVI, actually that's just their cash flow. That's just their paper goes through a BVI, and the BVI they mark up, and then sell to the state side, landing with the price like a 550. And then, so the T-Mobile and AT&T got this phone, and then this phone be sold to the customer maybe like a 600 something. So for China, only can tax 20 US dollar or less based on this, and also have to subtract the tax return. For states, they only tax, the taxable will be only 50. So this great company hold huge cash. And where? Tax-free zone, BVI. So that's all the company is doing right now, today, in here. So that's why when you go to hospital, you cannot get a very good benefit. You have no, and you go to the school, no more free lunch, because the government don't have the money. Why? Why? Because nobody is paying the tax, right? So that's the real world. What the real world is happening in the modern international trading. Do the manufacturing, they do OEM, what's that we call the processing with the supply the material. Just like this jacket. I bought this from Macy's in the States. It's Ralph Lauren's, very good brand. But last year, I visited a company, a factory in Shandong. They are exactly making this. Guess what? You know how much they make by doing this? $2 just for the labor and all those equipment, everything $2. Because the Ralph Lauren's provide then the material and also the plate and the mold, and they just manufacturing and the cheap labor, $2 just made this jacket. So all the transaction goes through the offshore banking system, offshore company, and what we be talking earlier, that's called the transfer pricing. That's our accounting term. That's a transfer pricing, and even we got a tax rebate on that. So. And then we signed a free trade agreement, get a low or waive the tariff. So that's the word. I'm sorry, but that's real. So is this the revolution coming or reformation? I know that's a very sensitive words in here right now, but I still want to just mention that. So since the things be changed, so always have the new way becoming. So if people are not making enough of the money, they try to cut off their cost. So telemarketing is coming, right? Goes to a CRM, and the e-commerce is make the payment easier and more efficiency, and the express delivery like Shunfeng in here or FedEx, UPS, worldwide to make all those logistic doable. And the mobile internet to let everybody can buy from your cell phone. So the Double 11 just passed. Okay, 57 billion renminbi be spent at that day. Oh, huge money, and that's unbelievable. Just in Alibaba, right? I think I would say most of you participate a couple bucks on that, right? Well. So why do you just purchase from that? Is it the better product? No, I don't think so. Cheaper, yes. So yes, the business person is looking for cheaper solution, cheaper source, a cheaper way to do business, and then yes, all the customers are looking for cheaper, and they don't want to spend. They want to spend all their nickel and dime on the right place, and to generate dollars, hundreds of dollars. So right now, and when I was when I just go to the bank, and I remember that 20 years ago, I was my first paycheck is $1,400 at that time, and I can get 18 months with bonus, everything. So 1,400, 18 months. Today, the same position. Only the teller only take like $800 in Taiwan, and then they can only take like 14 months. So that's almost the 50% difference. What has happened? Because deposit, borrowing, payment statements, all those things they go to paperless and all go to the e-banking. So 90%, I would say 95% of the transaction they go to the cyberspace. They are not doing the physical. And the credit evaluation, more smart. So they will track your personal credit record and what you spend the money, and they track all the transactions. You have late payment or you have extra money on the banking account. They know it. And the big data to analyze it, and cross-platform, and to position you as their valuable customer. And also for the assets management, all the stock trading make it easier, and portfolio management, you always pop out with all those signals, advertisement to you to ask you to spend, to buy more from them. And it's easier to maximize your profitability with your limited information source. But for the richer person, no, they have their own way. Oh, yeah, welcome to China. So every time, yeah, just like our MC just says, yeah, that's Chinese characteristic. One picture, only one chart, I can explain everything. In the past 20 years, okay, we just point out only the specific the quarters. You can say most of the time they stay with the 2 digits. That's annual change, the growth rate of the GDP. That's amazing for any of the economic group, any of the economic group in the world will appreciate for this. So, what is changing? So most of you never see the things we call the video tapes because, well, one thing is that you are too young and younger than me. So you just direct using the DVD, VCD, and no any transition. And most of you barely use your line phone. Just go to your cell phone first. And the smartphone, the popularity is the highest in the world in here. And also for those, all those high technology just coming to anywhere today in the world, and the next day will come to China. Why? Because we have a province called Henan, right? They learn and copy very fast. No, because we open, because we don't want to take risks. For anyone just from Henan, sorry, there's no offense, just a joke. Yeah. Well, because we say yes, we're so open. This place we open to every new arrivals. We open our arms and we are absorbed it. We learn it and we create our own model. Okay, let's back to the topic of today. For today, the financial solutions. So for traditional banking today in China, we're still doing the deposit, loan, factoring, but unfortunately, I would say 90% of the loan still go to the mortgage. They want to see the collateral. Without that, you cannot get a loan. So we have the shadow banking system. We call this, maybe if we call the trustee, you will be more familiar with. And the guarantee company, microcredit, and even the pawn shop join the shadow banking system because they have more flexibility to provide the funds and provide the collateral and the guarantee for the banks. So the amount as large as 5 trillion renminbi on the end of 2013, and that's almost 40% of the GDP of the country. And then wealth management products, that's another big topic to let people to spend money. And private fund, and what we call the 众筹, the crowdfunding, P2P, and those subprime. So all those for us, what we be doing our finance product from outside in Taiwan, in the States, outside. We got kind of shocked in here. Every time I come here, I see all those products be showing everywhere, be discussed openly, and then because for those outside in Western system, they are just on the table, or people try not to bring it down because people knows those are high return things or high pay. That means high risk. So that's not the mainstream things. But in here, everybody talk about that. Even CCTV is talking about that. And it looks like a normal business model. And if you are not doing that, you are out of date. But what's happening? Why? Why this happen here? Here comes the investor's choice today in China. All those numbers based on the annual return. The fixed term deposit, like 3 to 3.5% per year. And those are the wealth management products, like can be like a 5 or 6. That provided by the bank. Usually those are the guarantee with your principal, and your profit will be protected. And but for the non-bank, if you go to like a Yuebao, like a 4 to 6. Okay, here comes. Okay, 4 times if you go to Huoqiu, you pay me advertisement fee. Okay, 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 you can get 4 times like that. So some of the private fund you can get 12 or 14 or even more, and P2P lending here like 10 to 13% of that, and if you go to the equity crowdfunding, wow, up to 300% per year. Guess what? If you invest on the right target, and then you probably will get a 3 times return by the end of the year. You'll have to go, but you probably will come back with nothing.